Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rolling. It is now 6:01 and the meeting is called to order. Everybody signed in. If you haven't, please do so. Okay. That's how we know whether we have a quorum or not. So, Billy, would you mind taking the roll? Diane? Here. Francis? Here. Joe? Here. Billy? Here. Katie? Here. Diana? Here. Barb? Here. Sandy? Here. Teresa? Sue and Kathy are excused. Yes, and I just talked with Sue. She's doing fine, but she's not going to be home as soon as she thought. Yeah, so we're sort of sad about that, but she's doing okay. And Kathy's surgery was a success, and so we'll see her soon also. And she is home. So next up we have the treasurer's report, and Joe's got his own microphone. So no, let's do the minutes first. Sorry. November 17th, 2023 is the minutes we should all be reading.
There is one. There is one. There is one error, and it has been corrected. It's not Sue Emery, it's Sue Woodbury.
Just a typo.
Yeah. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Everybody through reading? Okay. Any questions, additions, or deletions to the minutes that have been submitted? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand for adoption. Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Treasurer's report, Joe, the floor is yours.
Treasury report for December 2023. Checking activity. We had, $6,320.80 beginning balance. $8 was paid on a previous IOU from the dessert auction. We paid $98.20 for event supplies. The building A, C, and D event funds were, the balance of their event fund allocation was spent, with the exception of D, they were short. But if A spent $85, C spent $80, D spent $55.84. Office supplies, $46 were spent. We spent $102.87 on the storage unit. That was the money allocated that was in the minutes for that we passed for September to buy lighting for the storage unit. So that left a net cash flow in December of $460.76, leaving a balance of $5,860.04. The backside is the actual to budget, what we ended up with the whole year. December through January 1 through December 31st, 2023. We had a total income of 4,500 budget, and we actually earned 4,241. So we were short about $258 from the budget. Most of that, what? Okay. The dessert auction, we budgeted $3,000. Actually earned $4,005. So we were $1,000 over on that earnings. Few things we budgeted last year that didn't happen was the fun food days. We budgeted $750. We only earned $225. And the health fair, we budgeted $750 and it didn't happen. So we're hoping to do better this year. So
gift cards. Why don't we wait until it's time for questions? Okay, but we'll get you. Sorry, that's okay. Go ahead.
okay, on the expenses, you can see with the total expenses was $5,663 budgeted. We actually spent $2,639. Some of the stuff we budgeted, we actually didn't spend. Like the tech stuff, the AV stuff that we budgeted for last year, we're going to buy this year, so that'll be in this year's budget. So anyway, the net income budgeted was a minus 1,100. The actual budget was 1,600 to positive, and it's all on this sheet. Is there any question?
Two. So if the building parties didn't spend all of the money allocated each year, so you spend it or you lose it? You lose it. Yeah, it's pre-budgeted each year.
Nothing rolls forward on the activity funds.
And you don't do that in non-profit. And this is Roseburg. To answer your question, Daniel, general membership meeting.
Well, what is that, GMM?
General membership meeting.
Oh, what is that?
Where you're at right now.
Oh. Well, what do the gift cards?
We give them away at the end of the meeting.
Oh, why don't you give them to the bingo, so we can have bingo?
That's a whole different situation.
Bingo is not part of AGRC. That's run by RAF. That's Arrowhead Gardens money.
That's another whole.
We don't fund that.
Oh, okay.
Any additions, corrections, deletions, questions with regard to the treasurer's report? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of submission, please raise your hand.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Okay. I'd like to, welcome the new officers to the executive board. So if you, Sandy and Barb, if you will stand up. Those are Teresa Flores. No, and sadly, we're going to be losing Sandy. So we will sometime in the next couple of months, need another, person from building A.
No.
No, building C. Will you two please switch places and then I'll know who you are? Yeah, so anyway, but in the meantime, we're gonna try to keep her busy. So there's that. There was some changes in the executive board and that's how Susan, I think we went over that. Storage unit, the new storage unit is working out absolutely great. And Francis brought something up to me in an email that I really gave some thought to because it had never crossed my mind before. But we now have a person in each building that has the keys to the storage room. So if you are say you're a building rep and you need something out for, you know, an activity or something in your building, in C you will go to Sue Thatcher. Okay. In D you will go to Joe. And in A you will either go to Billy or me. And we can get in and out of that room 24/7, 365 days a year.
With a good reason.
With good reasons, right? That's true. But anyway, but I'm just saying that it does make more sense to have everybody in one person in each building have the access. So it should make it easier for everybody to have not run around to find somebody. But the new rooms are working out great. But we're still looking for a one large shelving unit, and I think one of the things will come up under good of the order that maybe we've looked for 2 months and haven't found one for free that maybe we will need to expend some money at the end of this meeting. Because we need another shelving unit in the second storage room. We need to figure out. Yeah. Pardon me?
What's in the storage rooms?
We could open a restaurant from our storage room, Dania. Everything that we use for all of our parties and everything, that's in our storage unit.
Oh,
Yeah, we have everything.
everything you need.
Yeah.
You have
Exactly.
different things you.
Right. Exactly. And in the second storage unit, we have extra supplies. We have the stuff for the emergency committee. We have stuff for the shredding, our big shredder, things like that. Yeah. And so far, you know, we've had those rooms without cost. So far, so good. Yes, that's a funny story, but we had one forever for no cost, and now we have two, and that's the funny story that we'll just leave alone. So anyway, craft fair, past events, craft fair success, Thanksgiving was great, Christmas in the front stop drive. These kids, if I didn't tell you last month, were so thrilled with what happened for them, for their party. And the socks that they got and the prizes that they got, everybody loved the prize they ended up with. And that was really, really fun. The Michael Powers was here for Christmas. I understand that his program was a little shorter than it should have been. And I had a little, conversation with him, but I wasn't here. I had to go to the funeral that day, so. Anyway, he'll be back and his time will be fine. Michelle Youth Court is going to be using the C sunroom. And whoever's in the C building, will you go before you go home or to bed tonight, will you go put a reserved sign on that door for tomorrow 9:30 to noon and stick it on the outside of the door. They were displaced, I think, from the community center. There's some remodeling going on there and they have classes for 4 weeks. For 4 Saturdays, so they'll be in the C sunroom from 9:30 to noon. There'll be 20 kids and 4 adults. No, it's just Saturdays, 4 Saturdays. And for people who don't know that, if you have friends and neighbors or somebody's other organization, you can use these rooms. They got to pay a deposit just like everybody else, but yeah, it can be arranged.
Diane, do you want to use your microphone?
Sure, I do. Sorry, John. New Year's Eve party, boy, I got good reviews on that. Sounds like everybody that was there had a really fun time. So thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Norman. Future events, well, it's actually current now. First, Talia was here for her first hair cutting on last Monday. She had 6 of her 8 appointments filled. Everybody seemed to be very happy. She had a great time. And let's keep that going. The only thing I would ask you, and I'm going to change the pages in the book, please try to fill out the appointments consecutively and not leave large gaps. Because she doesn't make any money if she has an appointment and then doesn't have another one until 1:30. And she's sitting there for 2.5 hours. So let's try to do that, as much as humanly possible. And I talked to Tukwila Village today. They're going to be using her on the 2nd and 4th Mondays. See, what we do here is a good thing, and news travels fast about what we do here. Dessert auction is on February 7th, so that's like 10 or 11 days from now. So let's get to cracking, folks. We've got some great bakers here, and for those of you who are new and might not have gone to one yet, this will be our 22nd. Yeah, it will be our 22nd dessert auction. So we do them twice a year. First one gave us $242, and the last one gave us over $2,000. And it's just the residents here, and it's just totally a lot of fun. And this one will be too. I've got a note here that it might conflict with the dessert preparedness class. Sorry about that. Or disaster. Well, I like dessert preparedness. That's more fun. Mardi Gras party will be on Saturday, February 10th. Teresa Flores, if you'll stand up. This is your chairperson. She needs help. And if you want to work on the Mardi Gras party, see her and you see her. She's got decorations, correct? Yeah. Good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lots of fun. And costumes galore, hopefully. Or at least masks. Cable box in the TV room, meeting with Brian Park. Brian happened to contact me today, so that was good. That's what I was talking to John and Joe about. We kind of have an agenda, and just a Reader's Digest version of some of that is we want to complete our audiovisual project, which is what we did with last year's dessert auction money, is to get the drop-down screen installed in this room. So we can start reaching out to universities and other places so we can bring classes and lectures in and things like that. To get our theater room hooked up the way it was originally hooked up, so we have the sound system working properly, the surround sound system and all of that. John and Joe have asked for a couple of other things that are on the agenda. I put in for please give us a new television screen that's much bigger. I just told them we've outgrown this one. And we have, honestly. And larger screens are much less expensive now. I mean, you can get an 85-inch screen for less than $1,000 now. So it's not like we're asking for the moon anymore, because we're not. So anyway, hopefully that meeting will be set up sometime next week with me and John and Joe, and then Brian is bringing the construction person, the internal IT person, and the Pacific Automation person here to that meeting. So we should have all players in place for the meeting and get new answers. We also talked about the installation and who's going to clear the property for the memorial bench, which is going to go right behind us down. But the ground has to be cleared. We have to be able to, put supports in the ground to lock the bench in place, things like that. And that's got to go through Brian and the construction people. So hopefully we will be able to wipe that slate clean and start planning on what we want to do to benefits of our dessert auction for this year. So start thinking about that, guys. Does anybody have a block watch report? I've been reporting the bus at the parking. 2 things to know. If you see the bus, Jan, sign in. The bus or the cars or the vans or whatever the hell that are parked out, I call it by the rock. Take a picture of that and report it to Find It, Fix It. Download that app on your phone. Just go to the Play Store, and download Find It, Fix It. That is the city app. It takes 3 or 7 pictures now, and just continue to just sign in, Jan. Don't worry about it. Just the more of us that report it, the faster they will get out here and move them away. Okay. The other thing is, and I've been talking to the office about the van that keeps getting parked over on this street. That street belongs to Shag. That is not a city street. You know where you drive around the property and you come out down at the end of that building? That is an egress that was granted to Metro. That is our street, and we should be trespassing those vehicles, tagging them and towing them. So I've been talking to the office about that. But once again, Find It, Fix It. It takes just a couple of minutes to use the Find It, Fix It app. It's straightforward, easy as heck. Jan?
I call for that.
I don't care. I don't want you to call it. We want you to use it. And it's not always a month, Jan. The more of us that report it, the faster they get here. When you call that's the standard answer that you get. But it's easy to, I'm just saying that it's easy to report it. Please use the Find It, Fix It app. Find It, Fix It app was part of what helped us across the street, believe it or not. You know, even for the length of time it all took, that Find It, Fix It app was part of it. Speaking of Find It, Fix It, I forgot what I was going to say on that. I'll get back to it. Building guide reports. What's going on in building A? Okay. Oh, yes, that was quite interesting. We'll leave that conversation for privacy. Okay. Anything going on in building C that we should know about? Nothing. Well, let's talk about building C and the bulletin board. Okay. And I'm not saying that anybody has, but if you see anyone other than one of the officers that you know up here removing anything from the bulletin board, let us know if you know who that is. Those bulletin boards are there for our benefit. It's our materials that go on there, and nobody should be removing anything from the bulletin board. I know that what happened in building C is somebody took them all down and threw them on the ground. You know, give them back to one of the building reps so they can put them right back up. You know, you cannot, Daniel, wait a second. I said, you cannot change other person's behavior. A person who does something like that is going to do it again, and it's just simply annoying, and that's how you have to look at it. If you report it to the office, you know, that's not going to fix it because the office can't correct that person's behavior either. And so if you just turn around and just put it right back up, and they realize that that's what's going to happen when they misbehave, you know, they'll move on to something else. That's all I can say about that. Dan.
You know what? Today I got in the elevator to come downstairs and somebody tore all the papers off. That's all.
Dania, that's what I just said. Dania, that's what I just said. I said, just pick them up, get them to one of the building reps and ask them to put them back up.
I went on the office and asked them.
I know, but it's not about the office. The office can't
Do it.
I know that. I said, go to one of your building reps.
I don't know who they are.
Sandy and Susie or Teresa. Yeah. But I said, it's just as easy for us to take care of a simple problem like that than to bother the office with
I
it.
don't know where you live.
Dania, if it happens again, call me.
There is a piece of paper on the wall that tells you who your building reps are and how to contact
Oh,
them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, place in every elevator in the complex.
It's there. But anyway, like I said, that's just dumb juvenile behavior, and you don't need to bother the office with dumb juvenile behavior. Just put them back up. No offense to you, Teresa, you did the right thing. Yes, you absolutely did. But I said, we just have annoying people. Joe.
Note that the building reps are referred to as building guides by the note on the wall.
I can't get rep out of my head and guide in it. Sorry. Francis.
However, if I see somebody taking down the signs and I know who they are, after I chew them out, then I'm coming to the office and turning them in.
I did that, I went to the office.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that,
I put it back up myself, I only got one hand.
that's okay, Danya. Go to Frances, she'll put him back up. Penny,
I really believe I saw someone moving out with a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes stuff is too big and they knock it and they
no,
don't.
in this case, they were literally all taken down and thrown in the corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that happens, Penny, and we put stuff back up on the bulletin board all the time because somehow it gets torn down or just like that. Somebody runs into it. No, but nothing's perfect. But we have people here who have poor behavior because, well, you will see it. This complex houses nearly 600 people. 600 people is a small city, and what happens in a small city will happen on this complex. It's just a fact of life. You know, I find some people's behavior annoying as hell. That doesn't mean I can fix it or I know exactly who they are. I'd like to, but hey. Okay, proposed bylaws change. There was copies of this up there, but this is not acted on tonight. We are simply reading it into the record. And I will read it. So if you have a copy, you can follow along, but it is only the reading to the record. This will be posted on the bulletin boards and it will be voted on next month. So it states, proposed change to the Arrowhead Gardens Residence Community amendments to the bylaws. Article 5, Section D, Paragraph 4. An audit of AGRC financial records of the year just closed shall be conducted, crossing out the word July, adding the word January of each year by 3 volunteers selected by the president at its January meeting, and that has been crossed out. Never mind. The audit as completed will be presented in a written report to the executive board at its meeting, splashing the word August, adding the word February. The audit committee shall consist of no fewer than 3 volunteer members, none of which can be members of the executive board. Article 9, Section 1, subsection 5. The audit committee shall consist of no fewer than 3 volunteer members, none of which can be members of the executive board. The treasurer shall not serve on the, adding the word not and on, the audit committee as an ex officio member, striking out in any capacity entered. Presented to the executive board at its meeting on 12/8/23 by Joe Labram. So that is all we do with that tonight. No discussion of any kind. Be prepared to discuss it at the February meeting. Audit report, budget to be voted on. And the budget is, Joe, did you bring the budget? Is that this? Okay. So I'm going to give this back to Joe for right now and we will discuss. Everybody have the one that looks like profit and loss budget overview. Did everyone pick that up? Because that's what Joe is going to go over and that's what you will be voting on tonight. Everybody got it? If you don't, make sure you come and get a copy. Should be right here in front, I think.
It says budget overview, January through December 2024.
I don't have it.
We'll get you one, Danya.
I don't have it. It's not the only one.
Please don't raise your hand until Joe is through with his explanation. And then we'll call the questions in order. These items can be adjusted at this meeting, voted on by the entire body, or it can be accepted as submitted by the executive board. That is our job, to prepare the budget and present it to you to be voted on by the body. So with that, Joe, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Missing a piece of paper. Thought I had it here. So the actual, we built the budget based on actual results from last year, and the budget is actually a little bit bigger than it was last year. The actual was 4,200, and we're budgeting 4,250 as the income, and we cut the food fun food days budget the expectation last year was 750, so we're expecting 500 this year, and we've got some better ideas on how to make some money on it. And, planning on having the health fair this year. And we're leaving that at 750 like last time, and we're budgeting $3,000 income for the dessert auction. Even though we earned 4,000 last year, we think we overperformed.
No.
We're hoping, but we're not expecting. So the total income for the year, budgeted is 4,250. And then we're budgeting, 700 for office supplies. That's an increase. We're budgeting 300 for storage. That's work on the storage unit. We don't know if, Shag is gonna figure out how to charge us for any of the storage units or not, but we're not planning on it, are we? Yeah, exactly. And event supplies, we're budgeting 400 for paper goods. We spent 280 last year. So that's an increase. And then we left the $2,269 technology budget in there from last year, which we didn't spend. And we increased the building event funds for each building to $200 a year. It's an increase over the 150 from last year. So you get $100 each half a year for parties in your own buildings. And emergency committee budget is 470. That's an increase of over the 260 that we spent. And we added $100 for block watch. Had no budget last time. And we pretty much left the gift card budget the same, $300 as $25 per month. And we budget $100 for Sunshine Committee, for the cards and everything. And last year, somehow we only managed to spend $5, or else some cards and supplies for the Sunshine Committee was purchased out of pocket. It never went through the system. So, but we've got $100 budgets for it for this year. And we've still got the $750 budget for the memorial bench, which I think we're going to get built this year.
Yep. Working on it as we speak.
So the total budget is a deficit of $1,889, which is about what it was last year for the budget, even though we didn't spend all of it. So we came out positive. Any questions?
Sue, I'm curious, what does Block Watch do with, I mean, what they do with their money? I don't know.
John?
I got black mic.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have to turn yours off.
Very good.
Okay, in last year, those of us on the Block Watch committee spent our own money to put up brochure holders. We get brochures from the city. They're these slim brochures. You'll see them in D building and A building. And Francis and I spend money out of pocket for those holders. We'd like to do the same for the A building, but they don't have anything like that. And we expect there will be other adjustments beyond that. So I would think probably $50 would cover the A building, and that would leave us $50 to do other things to help promote Block Watch.
You also did the little noisemakers.
Oh, yeah. Just speaking of that, I've been giving out these personal alarms. I've got several in the box. And we give them out as like gifts, I guess, to people. But it'd be nice if that becomes an ongoing expense, that would be good if, it was covered. So if anyone wants one of these personal alarms, come see me. For free. Yeah, what it is it's a little alarm, it's about this big. And when you pull the pin,
No demonstration necessary.
no necessary. Yeah, I'm not a good imitation of that.
Which we should be setting up that presentation. Teresa.
Hello, I would like to question, increase the event from 150 to 200.
Where are you talking about?
There's
Which line?
It is 65041.
Event supplies, food.
Okay.
Is that a motion?
$50 budget.
So 200 and $750.
We've already increased it to 2. Are you looking at the right page?
That's at 150. That's 150.
You should be looking at the one that says profit and loss budget overview.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't see anything where it says,
Says 150.
oh, event supplies and food.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, I was wrong.
62,041.
Okay, tell me what is that one for? Because everything else comes from RAF funds. So Joe, what does that one go to?
That's the money that we put out for, like, we have a bad rental, like, food for. Hot dogs.
Yeah, like if we buy donuts or our own cookies for, the, coffee with a cop or something. Because other event funds are coming from RAF. So, but if your motion is to increase that by $50, okay? And it's
I should spend 90. So
out of 160.
Increase the budget to 150.
Yeah, so, yeah, we, according to your treasurer, he already increased it dollars. Shelley, you're
The Mardi Gras comes,
standing up.
Stretching.
Oh, okay, go ahead,
the Mardi Gras comes from draft.
yes.
It's, well, there's something coming under good of the order about that, but yes.
That's what's.
Okay, so
Bobby,
What is raft?
it's RAF, Residence Activity Fund,
Shag money.
right?
basically what I'm gonna say, but not.
No, what did I explain to you earlier? Timeliness, yes. Got it, okay.
Okay,
Any other questions on the budget as proposed? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor as proposed, please raise your hand. Anyone opposed? Thank you, Joe, for your hard work. Oh, I know. No, the board does this work and we go through lots of arguments and interesting discussions about how, the fact that we have money to do this with is a fabulous thing. Okay. Good of the order. Marty.
I just wanted to let everybody know that I put some cranes out for everybody to help themselves, take as many as you want, string them at home. This project was a peace project that started in 2019. And over 25 residents helped make 1,000 cranes. And it's in the craft room if anyone hasn't seen it. These are what's left over. So help yourself. The blue and yellow is the color of Ukraine's flag. So, and I put several around, kind of like an Easter egg hunt. So please help yourself and take as many as you want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think that, I thank you for doing that. Marty, and I know that's been a project of love from you for a long time. But I think, not just for Ukraine, I think we should be praying for Israel and Gaza equally.
Peace
Peace
worldwide.
worldwide is what we should have. Yeah, imagine the world in peace. I would like to see that before I die. Anyway, so yeah, please take the cranes home, and when you look at the cranes, think about what their meaning is. It's a big deal. Other good of the order, John.
Okay, the emergency committee now has a disaster planning group. So we've expanded the scope of the emergency committee. And so we're having Wednesday presentations at 7 p.m. You can Zoom in from your apartment, or you can come to this craft room, and I will put it up on the screen. And the disaster planning group will do another follow-up. We'll use all those 7 videos as a backbone for a presentation that we will do here after the official ones are over. So it'll be during the year. So lots of disaster planning ideas are coming out. Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm sorry I overread that, but I think it's appropriate under good of the order. Anything else under good of the order? Teresa.
I was wondering if you have any update on the washer and dryers. I think there's more people this week complain about the lack of dryers or washers in our building.
Okay, I know that they are working on the washers and dryers, and that I think there's 6 new ones on property, that some are being replaced, and they're checking to see whether, like the one in our building that we screamed about having to be replaced for months and months and months, was actually repairable. So they're doing that right now. So I know that it is being worked on.
I have a comment. I talked to Mark about it, and he said that it's gonna be an easy fix because the new ones we already have one that's broken. It lasted maybe 6 months on our floor, 4th floor. And it has to do with the card I don't know the terminology that I'm trying to, the card that you insert to get the washer going. It's an easy fix, and the guy's getting ready. He's getting some parts for the ones that need parts, and then the other one's a real easy fix because it's the card issue.
Right, and some of it's the card reader,
Yeah.
which is the issue, but a lot of the washers and dryers can be repaired, and they have a set of diagnostic cards that look like our key cards to the door. And they use the diagnostic keys to find out what it is exactly that's wrong. And sometimes that's all it needs is for that diagnostic key to be put in there, and it kind of like resets the brain, like when you have to shut your phone off and turn it on. But a couple of the things that happen is people are continually overloading the washing machines, not just with clothes, but obviously that's a problem, but also with detergent. You know, you should look to see, don't put a whole lot of detergent in because your clothes are too dirty. Look to see what your detergent thing says, read the inside of the lid of the washing machine and follow what it says. That's what keeps these machines running properly. But because you have to pay for your laundry, a lot of people, for whatever reason, like to save it up and get it all done at one time. But when you do that, you overload the machines by weight. You can't put your towels and your jeans in the same load, or your comforters, because it's just too heavy. So some of the things we can do to have our machines running better is to use them properly. That's, it's just, let's all try to do better about that ourselves. But we would like them fixed more timely. There's no doubt about that.
I think the people that do that are probably not even here.
Of course they aren't, but you know what? Maybe we can get some signage put up in the laundry rooms that reminds people not to overload the washing machines. And I mean, that's in any laundromat. And if you go to most public laundromats, it'll tell you don't overload these machines for that very reason. And if you were at home using your own washing machine, you wouldn't be overloading it. Marty.
Also, I'd like them to, when the words coming off of the machines, I would like some direction there too.
Yeah, I noticed when it starts to wear off, you can't even figure out which load is which load. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some things that we can all do better as far as that goes. But once you get the new machines, let's try to treat them a little bit better ourselves. A couple of things, Stephanie. On the same note about washers and dryers, I just noticed the other day, we had one dryer that they just had to reset it.
Correct, that's what I'm saying, the
Like
dog.
they reset it to the wrong time, and it goes for 99 minutes.
Oh, gee. That
And
one
if
I'm
you
not
don't get in there before 60 minutes for the dog, it's been burnt.
Yes, but they've got the diagnostic key and you can go in and tell them they can reset that. Yeah,
Tom,
yeah, they have the diagnostic keys card. Well,
dryers and see if the same thing is happening to anybody else. I just caught it last week.
yeah, but I would let the office know that right away because they can just go in with the diagnostic key and reset that. That's a simple fix.
I was lucky, I was right next to
Right,
it, I was aware of it,
right,
went back and I,
right.
my clothes after about 45 minutes.
Yeah, so there's a couple of other things is, you know, we would like to get all of them up and working properly. Obviously, everybody's in the same boat on that one. And if we do, hopefully in the very near future, is that people will start doing their laundry a little more regularly. And I know that that's been obviously a detriment to every single one of us here. Because when you have to drag your laundry to, you know, 2 floors away just to get it done in your own building, you're more likely to do fewer loads, you know, at higher weight. But let's get everything up and running again and try to, you know, handle the machines a little bit better. The other thing I would like to talk about, and I know there's a few other people in the room that would, is the garbage chutes. I have lived here for nearly 15 years when this building has been 100% quiet. One conversation, please. This building has been 100% occupied with a 1 time a week pickup on these bins. And we have never had what we've had for the last 2.5 to 3 months. Because you know that the pickup is on Sunday doesn't mean that everybody and their freaking brother should dump their garbage on Saturday. And that's what appears to be happening to me. That's how I see what's happening, is everybody's waiting to take their garbage down and you're dumping it all on the same day and the system can't handle it. At the end of the garbage chute, on each floor in each building is a compactor. And if you don't realize that, I'm giving you some new information. Those are compactors. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Don't hang on to your damn garbage, take it to the chute. And don't wait until Saturday night, because that's what I'm noticing, is Friday and Saturday.
It's actually happening sooner.
Well, yeah, but still, if you're dumping your garbage regularly, you know, this won't be happening because it never happened in all these years with more people than live here.
So it's a different group of people who are clearly waiting for, I'm not sure what.
Actually, pickup is on Tuesdays.
Well, I don't care what day it is. We'll just, you know, good for that. We'll put a sign up that talks about that.
More because there's 4 days between Friday and Tuesday. No, they pull it out of here on Tuesday, Janet.
Also, please don't put giant bags of garbage down the chute. You know, if you dump it more regularly, smaller bags, it's less likely to catch on the sides and cause it to stack up. And it says right on it, don't put cardboard in down there. That's recycled. Don't put, you know, your dead vacuum cleaner or any big items like that. It just breaks the chute. And then, you know, poor Rom has to come in and deal with it.
A lot of work. It is a lot of work to deal with that. But I'm just saying that, and Bobby, you're correct in what you're saying. The people who need to hear this are probably not the ones at the meetings. But if you're in the laundry room and you just saw somebody going out and, well, yes, they're not exempt from the conversation. Don't be afraid to say something to somebody that you know that just left their garbage on the floor. You know, if the chute's full, don't take your garbage home. It's not somebody else's job to clean up after you and pick up your garbage. It's like, this is my opinion. It's like when I take my friends to the movie and we get up to leave and they leave their popcorn bag on the floor, pick it up or you can go to the movie by yourself because those people don't get paid to pick up your garbage and they don't get paid here to pick up your garbage either. Use common sense, drop your garbage, figure out, maybe a better idea would be to put up a sign that encourages people to dump their garbage more frequently using smaller bags. I mean, that's a simple sign, and that's something we could do.
Yeah,
The problem with signage is that it's not red.
well, yeah, I know, but there are ways,
all over our.
but there are ways to have signs red. One is how you use color, where you place it, and exactly what you say. I mean, you gotta give things a shot, and you can't, the glass has gotta be half full, not half empty still. Yes,
Kind of like,
hang on, you've got a hand up over here.
When I noticed.
You have to stand up and be heard. Oh, sorry, Laura.
What I noticed down in the basement is that the blue,
Recycle bin.
recycle bins are getting filled up with huge bags of garbage.
Right.
And God knows what else. And nobody's breaking down their boxes anymore and et cetera, et cetera. And it just makes it so hard for Rob or whoever's in charge.
Right. I have been talking to the office about a door-to-door letter, and I've made suggestions over the years that when people move in here, there should be a contract or however you want to use it, that gives you the instructions about recycle, reuse, compost, and everything that they have to sign off on, which means they've read it and they know what it means. When I catch people putting garbage bags downstairs, I take it out, give it back to them and say, you cannot put this garbage bag in here. This is recycle only. I remind people to break down their boxes. That is their job. And some of the biggest violators are when you have a move in and a move out. A move out becomes a disaster because whoever's moving out doesn't really give a hoot. But the person who's moving in should be given correct instructions. Like if you have too much furniture, you don't get to break it downstairs and dump it in the lobby. The office should say, if you have too much and you have to remove things, please come and let us know. We'll make the appropriate appointment for you to pay to have it removed, and we'll let you know when they're coming. And that can be done by any of us at any time. When junk removal comes, you can pay, it's a pretty nominal fee if you've got something that has to go out of your apartment, and the junk guys will come and pick it up from you. You don't have to haul it downstairs, they will come and get it. So I mean, there's many things that we can do, but yeah, I don't like going down into the garage and having the recycle bin smell like garbage, and it shouldn't. And it's icky. It's just icky. Yeah. Anyway, any more good of the order? Teresa, do you have something? Oh.
Apparently not.
I'm gonna do Teresa's good of the order. Okay. So I will give the chair, I will put the motion on the floor, and then Francis will handle the motion. So I will need a second, and then I'll. I move that we advance $200 for the Mardi Gras party from the AGRC fund. If I can have a second, I will explain.
We have a motion on the floor. We also have a second, $200 for the Mardi Gras party. All in favor?
No. Well, we could do that. But here's why we're asking for the advance. I put in the RAF fund money. RAF fund money has been coming more slowly than it should. And we, on my side, were a little late in getting that in there. Today is exactly 2 weeks, and I always give it at least 3, if not 4. So the chances of that check getting here in time for Teresa to shop are probably slim to none. So that's the reason to ask for the advance from us. And then the money will be returned to us when the check arrives.
Anybody have questions or comments? All in favor, raise your hands. Any opposed?
Thank you very much. That makes life a lot easier. I usually try to get that money in way ahead, but I just plain messed up on that because I actually forgot the date. Joe?
So I understand what we're doing. We're increasing the event supply by $200. Where's that 200 coming from?
It's just gonna come out of the general fund. We're just advancing it until the
We
check.
don't have to.
Well, we should have.
So it's gonna come out of the line item.
Well, which line item would you like it to come out to, Joe? Let's take it out of the dessert.
Take it out of event supply and food.
Yeah, and we'll just go over it by $50.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be back in no time. Thank you, Joe, for the correction. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. Shelton,
I would entertain, Joe, how much did you put that a new shelf in? Yeah, so we need to take that out. Okay, right, okay, so, again, I'll turn this over to, Francis. But the motion on the floor is to not exceed $150 for a new shelf for the second storeroom. If I get a second, I'll explain.
Any questions or comments? Ask for a second.
Okay,
I'll second it.
we got the second. Yeah, when we moved into the new storeroom where we are, we moved out of 2 small storerooms and we kept 1 small storeroom, which we really thought we were gonna get rid of, but we didn't. The new larger storeroom is absolutely working great, and the second storeroom has our additional supplies, an additional cart, our shredder and the rolling cart that goes on. But we would like to be able to take things off the utility cart, which to use that utility cart, we've got to take everything off of it in order to use it. So that's why we would like a shelving on the back wall, so we can move the things that we're storing on the utility cart onto shelving. So the utility cart is available for our residents when they need to use it. So that's the reasoning.
Now, are there any questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your hands. Any opposed?
Thank you very much. We'll get on that one. Joe, do you have a list of who won the money last month? Rosemary Perry, right?
No.
Who? Oh, Bobby, did you win the appeal? Okay, so you'll get to pick a number when Joe tells you what the numbers are.
Number from 1 to 31.
21.
Number 21.
Sandy Rogers.
Sandy Rogers.
Yay!
The one thing I forgot under the president's report is we have added a committee that has yet to completely meet, one because the chair is unavailable right now. Anyway, it's called the Facilities Committee, and I'm not going to give you a whole lot of information on it today because they are still working out their actual structure. But it's a committee that's going to benefit the residents and management on both sides, being able to come together and resolve daily issues. I think that's the quickest way that I can explain it without going into detail that I don't have yet. But the chair of that committee is Sue Thatcher, and so if the other people will stand up, they'll know who you are. Francis Berge, Stephanie, and Diana, who has left. But anyway, that is the Facilities Committee. You'll be given some very clear information shortly on how that committee is going to work, how it's structured, and how it's going to benefit all of us. I think it's a necessary committee, and I'm appreciative of these guys wanting to do it. So that is the end of things. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
All those in favor? Thank you very much. I don't think anybody's opposed.
I was thinking like in the locker room.